Hello, welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm making a summertime favorite, and that is a blueberry delight. Listen, I remember the very first time I ever had this. I went to church with my grandparents as a little girl, and it was one of those Sundays where we had what we called dinner on the grounds. Everybody brought a covered dish, and I remember walking into the little back part of the church to go get my plate, and I see this big dish of blueberry delight. It was my first time to ever eat it, and I absolutely loved it. And from then on out, I thought that dish should be at the church every time I go. Now, I started with a stick of salted butter, and I just put that in the bottom of my pie dish, popped it in the microwave, melted it, and it's ready to go. Now, this is a pecan pie crust, and it's not your traditional crust. It's kind of like a little crumble crust. And to this melted butter, I'm adding a cup of all-purpose flour, and that is going right in. My grandmother used to make this crust with so many different things. Probably my favorite was when she would make this and just put some chocolate pudding over the top of it and then Cool Whip. Oh, so good. Now I'm adding 1/2 cup of chopped pecans. And I'm just gonna stir this up. Let that flour get nice and wet. There we go. Let me put this underneath this dish so it doesn't make quite so much noise. Now, all I'm gonna do is press this down into the bottom of my dish. Now, this isn't a pie crust that's gonna come all the way up the sides. It's just gonna come up just a little bit. And since it's all-purpose flour, it's not gonna rise. So it's pretty much gonna stay like it is. Press that down. There we go. That's as easy as it is. Now, I preheated my oven to 350 degrees, and this is going in for about 15 to 20 minutes. Set my timer on 15 minutes, and I'll start checking it. And what we're gonna do is bake that until it's nice and light golden brown. While that's cooking, let's go ahead and start on our filling. This has a cream cheese base, and I just love it. Now, I've got some softened cream cheese. I just put it out before I went to work this morning and let it get nice and soft. And that's going right in. And I have a cup of confectioner sugar. That's going right in with my cream cheese, and a teaspoon of vanilla. I'm just gonna eyeball it. I'm using the clear vanilla. Just like it when it's white and you keep that nice pretty white color. Now I'm gonna mix this for about 1 minute to 2 minutes on medium speed. There we go. Nice and creamy. All of that sugar is incorporated into the cream cheese, and that's exactly what we're looking for. Now, I've got, what is this? An 8-ounce container of Cool Whip. Now, I also make this a lot of times when I'm making a 9x13 pan. I'll use the Dream Whip. Hey, it's delicious, but it's not always easy to find. Since the invention of Cool Whip, Dream Whip isn't readily available in all stores. So I'm gonna make it easy for you, and I am just adding the Cool Whip. Now, what I'm gonna do is start folding this in. And I'm using the whole container with the exception of about 2 tablespoons, just a nice dollop. I want to reserve just a little bit to put on top of our Blueberry Delight. Now, when you fold something in, you just want to stir around the sides and then cut up through the middle. And what this is going to do is just make sure that our cream cheese and Cool Whip stays nice and poofy and fluffy and doesn't get dense. Just bring it around there and then just kind of fold it through the middle. This is looking good. I have a little bit more to go. And I'm going to stir the rest of this in, and this is what I'm saving. About 2 tablespoons, maybe a tiny bit more. And that way we've got a pretty garnish on top of this. I'm going to continue to just fold. This smells so good. I just want to taste it, make sure that it's all good, which I know that it's going to be. Oh yeah, that is really good. Well, my pie crust is still baking, so I'm going to pop this in the refrigerator. When my pie crust is ready, I'm going to take it out and let it cool, and then we'll assemble it all together. This takes literally minutes to make, and one of the best few minutes you'll ever spend. Well, my pie crust has baked and cooled, and it took 25 minutes for it to get this nice light golden brown, and I let it cool on the counter just long enough to where I no longer feel heat at the bottom of my dish. But I can tell you it smells really good. Now I've got my cream cheese mixture, and I'm going to put this right over my crust. Ooh, this stuff, y'all, is so good. So light and refreshing too. It's one of those desserts that just feels good when you're eating it, not too heavy and filling, although it is definitely satisfying. Now I'm just going to spread this out all over my crust. My husband just got home from work a few minutes ago and he said, "What you making?" And I said, "Blueberry Delight," and he was one happy guy. This is supposed to sit in the refrigerator for a while before you serve it, but I have a feeling that this is not going to sit near as long as it's supposed to, because he's going to want to get into it, and that's all right with me. All right, got a little snack for later. Now I've got blueberry pie filling, and normally I buy Comstock, but the stores are out of so much right now and I couldn't find it, so I got the store brand, and that will do just as good. And I'm going to take this pie filling and just pour it right over the top. You can also use cherries for this. Strawberries are delicious, just whatever you like, use. I'm going to spread this all over the top. Oh, this looks so good. My mouth is watering. Perfect. Ooh, let me grab that Cool Whip. Here's the couple of tablespoons of Cool Whip that I saved, and just going to stir this and make a nice little dollop right in the middle. Now I have a few of my chopped pecans, It's always a good idea to garnish with what is in the dish. So if you're serving it to guests, or maybe you're taking it to a church social, then it's always nice to let people know what's on the inside. So I'm going to take a few of these nuts and just put them right on top. Voila. We have blueberry delight, and I can tell you this is going to be a delight. Now this needs to sit in the fridge for a couple of hours. Really, it's better if you make it the day ahead, leave it in the fridge overnight, and then serve it the next day. But since it's just for Jimmy and I don't mind working into this a little bit early. Well, lasagna is in the oven. I'm about to go make a salad. This will be our dessert tonight. You're a blessing to me. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for liking my videos, for the beautiful comments that you leave, the messages that you've sent me. They mean so much. You are an encouragement to me. I hope I encourage you. And make you a blueberry delight this weekend. I know that your family will be delighted. I'll see you next time.